And as promised, we have a pink beer.
There you go. Good vibes. How is it? You getting good vibes from that?
Black and red currants with
There you go.
Madagascar vanilla beans.
There you go. Got some pretty good vibes coming out of that.
Doesn't go with pizza.
I could have told you that before you poured it.
Not a pizza ale.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, August 24th, 2021. Jersey Johnny coming at you, and with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai himself. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, all. Happy National Peach Pie Day.
Happy National Peach Pie Day. There you go.
You know, I told John the odyssey I went through to find this. I probably went to the only ShopRite that doesn't carry those little table talk pies.
Yeah, most of them do, so that's kind of weird.
I don't know, but so I've got that, which is great.
So happy National Peach Pie Day as you eat a peach pie. There you go.
That is a peach pie. It is a little peach pie. It's
Isn't it an International Day too?
International Day. Well, yeah, and actually we celebrated. You celebrated it with our opening music because it's
we both celebrated with our opening music.
Well, I like to sing along with it because I've learned now and I know the lyrics.
There you go.
It's International Strange Music Day, and you can get stranger than log, but not a hell of a lot stranger than log.
Yeah, our intro music to this podcast and also the sports podcast on Wednesday nights is the band Log from Denver, Colorado. Name of this song is The Big Toe. That is the name of the song for our show. Yeah. The name of the song for the sports podcast on Wednesday nights is "Babies Are Born Without Kneecaps." That's the name of that song.
I did not know that. That's an interesting fact.
And it is a fact, too. It's not.
Wow, that's interesting.
Absolutely true. Babies are born without kneecaps.
It's also an auspicious
I swear it's true.
today.
I wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah, you would.
Well, no. Well, those are the lyrics anyway.
Oh.
Anyway,
I'm not sure if I ever caught the beginning of the sports podcast.
You should. I don't know why you don't.
It's about you start on time like we do.
Pretty much. Yeah. So in any event, well, it is also an anniversary today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those auspicious days that we hang our head. Pluto was demoted on this day,
and this was a picture caught after Pluto was demoted.
Yeah, he was quite.
He was very sad. He was very sad.
But it was 15 years ago, 2006.
15 years ago, yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson made the announcement, and I hated him for a little bit for it. But then he showed up on that Wing Challenge show, and it's like, okay, yeah.
Oh, it's better now.
Yeah, okay.
He made the announcement and then ate wings.
We're like this. Like this. I don't know. Anyway, so it was okay, it's better now. But there's still someone at NASA who thinks that Pluto should be a planet. It's got a moon.
It does have a moon, doesn't it?
Do you know the name of that moon?
I do not. I know the name of some of the moons of some of the planets, but I don't know the name of Pluto's moon. Or if you say it, maybe I do know it, actually.
Charon.
I did not know. Charon?
Yep, Charon.
Is there a chair on the moon?
No, there's a chair right underneath on my floor that I'm sitting on. And I also have a mop. And I also have a mop over there.
I was gonna say your floor looks a little wet.
Yeah. Well, no, the floor's dried now. The rug is dried. Hopefully you can't hear the breeze from the fan blowing to try to dry everything out here. But
couldn't hear it. Didn't know it was just even running. So
Henri. Once again, I got flooded, and this time it was Henri. The sump pump did its work, but the shower decided to overflow. The shower drain.
The shower drain, not the shower. I was going to say you can turn the shower off when it's overflowing. So
I wasn't here, so the shower overflowed.
Damn Henri.
At least we weren't in Rhode Island.
I was going to say, I bet you it was worse up in Rhode Island.
Well, I wonder how worse.
Well, why don't we ask somebody from Rhode Island?
Let's get someone from Rhode Island on the show.
All right, let's do that. Our guest tonight is Mr. Scott Monroe. Let me put it up here. He is the publican and brewmaster of West Passage Brewing in North Kingstown, Rhode Island.
And forgive me for this, Scott, but if you open a second one, would you be a Republican? Sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize profusely for that. Please stay. Please stay.
That was very bad, Dave. So, anyway, so how are you tonight, Scott?
I am very good. How are you guys?
Pretty good.
I'm more curious why we're not celebrating National Waffle Day, because that's today, too.
National Waffle Day.
Oh, Waffle Day was
Did you not have that on your calendar, Mr. Samurai?
No, I'm not. No, I'm gonna have to vet this. If you got a day I don't got.
Well, I don't know who comes up with these days. But
well, most of them actually are made up by Dave.
Peach Day, yeah.
No, they're not.
It actually came up National Waffle Day as well.
There you go.
So
it is National Waffle Day.
You would have had a lot easier finding that than.
And you didn't realize it.
Well, you put your peach pie on your waffle, and then you're good to go.
There you go. So, which one of you is clicking like that? Is that your? Is Zach eating a bone by any chance? Or?
No, I haven't done anything. Do you want me to try something?
No.
No. It just sounds like
I'm going to mute and unmute and see whose it is. Hold on. Yes, it's yours, Scott.
All right. Well, Apple products.
You know, we've complained about Apple products on the show before.
Yeah, I only hear it when you guys speak.
It's actually better now. So
yeah, whatever you did, that worked. Nope, there it is.
There it is again.
Yeah.
Turn it.
Is it on a wooden table? Are we hearing termites? What?
Well, once all the trees fell down around here,
I was going to say the termites had nowhere else to go except.
No, you had one come down in your yard.
I did. So yeah, we ended up. Yeah, fortunately, it wasn't as bad as they kind of made it out it would be. But it was blowing. I mean, we got a lot of rain. The storm made landfall just about 30 miles further west of us, down westerly. So it was blowing, and we're just watching the backyard. We watched a big limb from one of our oaks in the backyard just come crashing down.
An oak? Wow, those are hard to take down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they'll probably keep us for at least a week. We chop everything up and burn it. So.
Well, there you go. That works.
How did the brewery hold up?
Yes.
We lost power, which was quasi unfortunate. The one good thing is we had a lot of inventory in our beer cooler, and we ended up moving all of our proteins into the beer cooler to keep them cold, because otherwise we would have been throwing out a lot of food. And problem with it's bad enough, but we smoke a lot of food or meats, and that's labor intensive, and
sure.
It would have put us back a little bit on our offerings for tomorrow.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Right, you're Wednesday through Sunday, right?
We are Wednesday through Sunday. We try to keep it civil. This is supposed to be a fun venture, and we don't want to work ourselves too hard.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
We've already done that, and that's why we're doing this.
There you go. So what are you drinking? Let's get that started.
I got it's not a harpoon, it's just in a harpoon glass. But I am drinking the Turbo Body Wag, which we brewed. We came across a style some time ago called a pub wheat, which is heavy on the barley, of course, and we put about 20% white wheat in there, a little bit of red wheat as well. And it gives it a very nice, that's brewed just like an ale would be. We throw some, we use a mix of Centennial, Chinook, and Amarillo hops in it. And it gives it a very nice light flavor. And it was extremely popular in the brewery. And so we decided to just up the game a bit. So we upped the grain bill and got it up to 7.8%. And it's quite tasty, actually. Doesn't have much of a alcohol taste, which is nice.
Show that again. That's a pretty beer. Show us that. There it is. It does have a beautiful color.
It's very nice.
Light amber color.
It is very nice. I gotta tell you though that the clicking from the audio, it actually sounds like somebody chewing something, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
I've never heard that before.
That's why I asked if it was termites.
That's why I asked if it was the dog chewing on a bone. Turn your phone. Justify it the other way, like straight up and down. Maybe that'll
portrait
instead of landscape.
That was a fun sound.
That was good. No, same thing.
No,
It was weird. You can put it back the other way. It's the same way now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Actually, it got a little worse there.
It's a little strange.
Yeah. That might have been while you were moving it. That's all. So, yeah, we'll make do. That's all. So,
mouse pad.
It almost sounds like your internet's going in and out. No.
Possibly.
No, that's weird.
All right. So
We'll see. We'll suffer through.
We'll make do. While he looks at that, what are you drinking, Samurai?
Well, I've still got some tree houses that I haven't drank yet.
You do?
Yeah, from when we came back from Maine. Got up in the morning, killed some time so that we'd get there when Treehouse opened. It's not from the source, but I'm using a source glass.
Of course.
Because I like putting my Pilsners, and this is a Pilsner called Chip Shape. I like putting my Pilsners in this glass because I can develop a nice head on this.
That's always
probably developed a little bit more than
I
wanted.
Well, it's ironic that we have a brewery from Rhode Island on
it's
because
not quite a Liz pour.
It's damn close to a Liz pour. It's pretty close to a Liz pour.
Scott, are you familiar yet with the Liz pour?
No, I am not actually.
She'll be there. She'll be there.
Eventually, yes.
I'm sure she's been there. I think she's been there already.
Rhode Island Elizabeth.
Yes, R.I. Liz on Facebook. She is one. I think she's one of the admins of the Rhode Island craft beer community.
Oh, yes. I think I have met her.
Gotcha. Yep. And anytime that you over pour a beer in Rhode Island, it's referred to as a Liz pour. So she has a penchant for doing that. She gets a little exuberant with getting her beer into her glass.
Just a little bit. So, all right. I'm going to pour mine if you don't mind.
Not on my own.
I'll be drinking My Trip, if you remember, if anybody's watching that watches on a regular basis or listens on a regular basis. Trip out to Pittsburgh last month. I picked up a Voodoo Brewery 37 pieces of flair. So,
love the Office Space reference.
And okay, and why is it not up? Interesting, because I know I put it up before.
Okay, try to reconnect.
So if you want to try, try that.
Because I'm
all right.
really bad.
All right. Well, he tries to reconnect. I'll pour this.
Pour your beer.
37 pieces of flair. It's a let me put it up on the.
Not for nothing. The peach pie goes well with the Pilsner.
Is that right? I bet you would actually. Yeah. 37 pieces of flair. It's a 7.9% rye IPA. And it's actually pretty.
A rye PA?
A rye PA, pretty much. It's a little haze. There we go. Right there.
Perfect. Beautiful.
There you go.
Cheers.
And, cheers to that. I'm going to take my my cursory standard.
Cursory? You mean compulsory?
Compulsory, standard, average, normal lager room picture. Here we go. All right, there we go. And Scott is back. Let's see if he's better now. How are you, Scott?
I'm good. Any better?
Oh, much better.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
100%.
So
there you go.
Switch networks. So.
There you go. So it was the network. There you go.
So you got something chewing on the network lines.
There you go.
From the other one.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, Scott.
All right.
Yeah, there it is.
There you
go.
All righty. Perfect.
Oh, that's a pretty beer. Very tasty. Very good, actually. I'm enjoying that.
Sounds like it went down well.
It is. That rye got stuck right there. There you go.
You're right.
All right. So anyway,
like it does in the mash tun.
Absolutely. All right. Now that we got our beers out of the way, let's talk about you, Scott.
Sure.
I'll ask you the question we ask everybody every week to start off, to kick it off. What was the first craft beer you ever had? It can be an ish.
Oh God.
Put you on the spot right out of the gate.
Yeah, no, you're putting. Because I grew up with basically poor and drinking my own beer when I was in college. So.
Well, there you go. Then it's your own, right?
But then, what made you want to Brew beer.
Sam Adams, I think.
Sam Adams.
So, but that's backwards. So we'll go with that.
Are you, Dave? Are you hearing him?
Yeah, your connection's actually gotten a lot worse.
Yeah. Now it's hard to even hear you. It's just completely.
Try
it again. Yeah, if you can.
Yeah, uno mas.
Uno mas. All right, we can vamp. So he said Sam Adams was his first beer.
Yes, which was my first craft beer.
As was mine, right? So as was most people in our range, if you will.
Tax bracket.
Our tax bracket, yeah. Our age and location range.
So our demographic.
Our demographic. Good word to use.
Yes, we're giving vocabulary lessons today.
Absolutely, we do
and
everything.
Apparently, I can't say vocabulary, but
you cannot say vocabulary. I can. I just said it. Vocabulary.
I was tripping over the peach pie.
There you go. All right, Scott's back. Let's see if this works now.
Oh, there's the bug. I think I finally got the bug. He's in my beer.
Is he drinking a lot of it?
Why do bugs like beer?
I know.
I don't know.
Sounds decent. This sounds pretty decent. Hopefully this works. So
we'll see how long this one holds.
All right.
Let's see. So I fished him out. I don't know if you can see him. There he is.
Nice bug. There you go.
Drosophila.
Yeah. Exactly. So so you said Sam Adams then would have been
we'll
basically
go with Sam
first.
Adams.
Go with Sam Adams. Right?
Could have been.
I was just while you were rebooting, we Dave and I talked. Where most people in our demographic, age-wise, location-wise, and everything else, Sam Adams is usually the the first of the ish beers, first of the ish craft beer. Not that Sam Adams is an ish, but you know what I'm saying.
If you lived in the Northeast and probably may have possibly been a Duran Duran fan in high school, then you probably drank Sam Adams first.
There you go. What the hell was that?
That was one of the bugs.
Did they come in with?
He went right over. He went.
He wanted to get on camera. That guy.
Looked like Rodan just flew past him.
I got to tell you, people, if you're listening to the audio podcast, make sure you mark down the time and go to Facebook or our YouTube channel and look at the live video. Well, it won't be live at that point, the canned video, and check out this bug that just flew past Dave's camera. It's something.
The thing is this big, but it looked like it was this big as it flew by.
It looked like Rodan, yeah. A little Mothra, maybe even.
Mothra.
Anyway.
You guys. Yeah.
We're not getting you at all. You're completely frozen now.
Yep.
And he's gone.
And the audio and the video's gone. And the audio's gone.
And he's rebooting. Now he's upside down. There he's back. He did a flip. There you go. Are you on a network? Are you on a Wi-Fi network?
Yeah, I've got two different networks I'm running. One Comcast, one Fios.
I gotcha. Can you? What about your data? If you don't have unlimited, yeah, that might actually work.
Let's try that too. We'll see how it works. I may slow down a lot, but hey, that's okay.
That's fine. Well, the more we drink, the more we're going to slow down too. So it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, and we won't know if it's the connection or slurring.
We're never going to figure it out exactly. So anyway, so hopefully we get this to work. Cause he was back, and now he's gone. I hear something, and there he's back. You there? Can you hear us, Scott?
Hey, Scott.
Can you hear us, Scott?
Yep.
You can.
Still staticky.
Yeah.
Well,
that's odd.
But at least we can hear him.
It's a little better. There's no buzzing, but there's a little bit of that static. So anyway, all right. So anyway,
moving on.
What was your original inspiration to open West Passage? When did you first come up with the idea? Was it a long time ago? Was it a long time coming? Or
yeah, because John went on your Facebook and you got a nice list of jobs prior to this.
Yes. Yeah. So I try to change it up every 10 years or so. Some people have accused me of not being able to hold down a job, but
it's more about the job holding your interest down is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I get you.
we were my wife and I were because she's my partner and that's the partner in crime.
Absolutely.
We ended up, we were kind of out of the corporate thing, and I'll say aged out of our jobs, but we both lost our jobs pretty much at the same time, and we were trying to decide what to do with ourselves. And relocation was one of the options, and also sailing away into the sunset. So among those two options, we decided that we loved Rhode Island too much and wanted to stay put. So we thought, what the heck, why don't we try our hand in opening a brewery? So that's what we ended up doing. So,
and there you go.
So we finally made that decision about probably 4 years ago, I'll say.
It took you that long to open up, or you? I'm sorry, go ahead. You were teaching at the time. Go ahead. You were teaching at the time, you said?
Oh, yeah. So I was teaching at the time how to fix boats. That was kind of fun, something different. Actually, It was probably one of the most beneficial things I've done to help me towards the brewery, just because, believe it or not, most of the stuff in a brewery is very similar to what's in a boat, from plumbing to electrical to fittings and everything else like that. So understanding those aspects and actually putting a tradesman hat on went a long way to understanding the operations in a brewery.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Very interesting. Now, you opened in June, correct?
Yep. June 9th, we opened our doors.
I was there in July, and you could still smell the paint.
You could still smell the new car smell?
Yeah. It was the new brewery smell, and everything was pristine and beautiful. We were full because we had just, I think we'd I don't know if it was, no, PVD was closed for some reason, but we had some Mead donuts, so we got that really big one. So we were full when we came in, but watching the trays of food go by, you guys don't mess around with your burgers, do you?
No, not at all. To be honest, guys, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but the echo.
We can barely hear you. We can barely hear you. So.
What do you want to try?
I think we're out of ideas here.
Unless you want to, maybe it's your location. I'm just trying to think, spitball it here. Because it is an iPhone. It's not like it's a. Say again?
I can try the laptop again.
If you want to try that.
Yeah, let me try that. I'll hang up and pick up there.
You got it. All right. Sorry about this, folks. Technical difficulties that we actually did run into technical difficulties, or he did, I should say, with his laptop, and decided to switch to the phone. And when he switched to the phone, it was pristine. It was perfect.
Yep.
So by the time, but when we started the show, by the time we brought him back into the show, it was what you're hearing. So not sure exactly what's going on, but let's try the laptop again. You might get some feedback. If you do, we're going to nip it in the bud right away. So we apologize for that. So let's see how this is.
We got a lot of reverberation and echo. That's the same thing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep, there it is.
And this is all the echo.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything. I don't know what's...
Your voice is much better. But we can hear us after we hear us.
Nice.
And that buzz is back.
All right, he just muted it there. Is there
another?
I hate to do this, but is there another room you can use your phone in? Maybe it's just a location with the phone. It's odd to think, but it's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I can try that.
You give it a try.
Yep. Yeah, you can get a lot of EM interference.
Yeah,
got a lot of pictures or other computers, modems in the room.
Yeah.
All right. I will go out and try my phone.
You got it.
Thanks.
All right. Sorry about that again, folks.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. So Dave and I will vamp, if you will. And if there's nothing we can do better, it's
better than voguing.
Well, you vogue, I'll vamp. I don't think that's the way it is.
Oh no, that's Hollywood.
I was thinking of the words to the song, Madonna song Vogue, but I think I only know three.
Go ahead
of them,
and
so
Vogue.
Come on,
let your
body groove to the music or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. It's kind of after our time and wasn't Duran Duran.
Exactly. It wasn't Duran Duran.
Well, then if all we're going to do is sit here and drink, then I'm going to need like a fourth beer in my.
You might need a fourth beer there, exactly. It's funny. We were talking about Bare Naked Ladies last week or the week before or something like that. A couple weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, because we're on vacation 2 weeks ago.
All right. And then we were talking about them. There's from their first album. Their first album was released in '92, I believe. Gordon was the name of the album.
That's my brother's real first name.
There you go.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
He's going to kill me for mentioning that on air.
And on the show, exactly. But on the album of Gordon, there's a song called Grade 9. And This Is Me in Grade 9. And one of the lyric lines is, went out for the football team to prove that I'm a man. I guess I shouldn't tell them that I like Duran Duran.
There we go.
There you go. All right. And Scott's back. How are we working that?
I'm back.
This actually sounds better.
It does sound better.
It might have just been the location. And I got to tell you, this is a much better backdrop for you, too, the trees out there. So.
Yeah, I like the backdrop.
There you go.
Yeah, yell if you see one coming down.
If there's one facing that. If there's
hey, there's Zach.
Hey, Zach. How are you? So, Zach, what was your first craft beer?
Yeah. Zach's one of my only dogs that doesn't like beer. It's very strange.
That's strange. That's
interesting.
Yeah.
And then we've got, 6-pack has 6 dogs.
Yep.
We've been up to 6-pack Brewing there. The brewery is named after his 6 dogs. And his 6 core beers are named after each one of the dogs.
And there you go.
Very cool.
Gotta love our dogs.
Gotta love the dogs.
I wish I could have
Rhode
a doggy.
Island dogs.
So anyway, speaking of Rhode Island, I'm wearing my Rhode Island beer shirt.
Very
again.
nice. Very nice.
Oh, that's great.
Love this shirt. I got this down at the Fantastic Umbrella Factory, actually.
There you go.
Oh.
So if you've never been down there, get down there. That place is a lot of fun. Go say hi to the emus.
The emus.
Yeah, they're emus.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, seriously, they got 3 emus.
3 of them. So we were talking about you were teaching at the time, and that's when you decided about 4 years ago you're going to open up West Passage. When you actually started the process of opening the brewery? How long did it take ish? Yeah.
The biggest thing was trying to find a location. That's always, at the time, actually, my wife was still employed. I was kind of fed up and heading down my own path.
Right.
And we were looking for just a small little venue that I could have because I knew I wanted to do a brew pub. I didn't want to do just a brewery.
Just a brewery, yeah.
And it took us a little while to find a location. We wanted to do it in North Kingstown where we lived. And so we, I think that's really what took us the longest amount of time, is just finding a location. And we ended up with an old Irish pub that was once called Jillian's, among other things. And it had been started out as a century-old home that got turned into a gas station, and got turned into a restaurant, and a few dozen other things. And it needed a lot of TLC. So
sure.
That was the
Those are the best, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We took it down to stud, and it was kind of interesting to see all the things that had been done. The old Rhode Island construction.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
So
I can imagine a lot of upgrading had to go into that.
Oh, yeah.
There were times in Rhode Island's history where the building codes weren't really at the same level as the rest of the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were like, is it standing? Does the door lock? You're good. Why not?
You got running water? Fine.
Exactly.
Yes, we have running water, fortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took a long time. The building had been it was neglected for years. One of my favorite things was they had put in 4 layers of 3/4 inch plywood underneath the floor. Instead of ripping it up and putting down a new floor, they just put more plywood over the top of it. So we actually gained 3 inches on the ceiling. And we had some, the gentlemen who were doing all the demo work, I just would hear them in there, and they would just go, "Oh, no es bueno." Every time they found another layer to the floor. So
another layer to the floor.
Another layer to the floor.
Yeah, so.
Gotta love it.
No, it was nice. The building worked out well. We wanted to, try to somehow get the brewery as part of the showcase, but there just wasn't going to be possible in the building. So it's the brewery ended up being put out back in part of the original service station bays, which actually worked out well, and then allowed us to use the rest of the building for the restaurant.
Gaining that extra ceiling space allowed you to put in some actually beautiful light fixtures.
Oh yeah.
The space is absolutely beautiful. So, John, next time you blow through there, you got to pop in.
We got to. Our original plan was to do a threefer, right? We were going to start in Portland, go to Boston, and wind up in Rhode Island for a couple of days. And timing wise, just the way we had to do things and everything else, it only permitted us one day, and then we obviously nixed that as well. So we're at least a long weekend to Rhode Island, maybe like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday, Monday is due. So it'll be soon. It'll be sometime in the fall. So I'll definitely be up and come by, because Dave was raving about it from just the one time he went, and anything I see online, I definitely got to get up and have a couple beers with you.
Well, the reason I was raving about it is because you make one of Johnny's favorite styles.
Yes. You
call it Drunken Horseman.
Yes.
And it is one of those Cascadian ales, black ale, and theirs is actually pretty fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's the one. I think it was my favorite that I had while I was there.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely got to try that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
What are some?
It was very interesting. We've made it twice now. The first go around, we ended up making it in the dead of winter, and part of the beauty of being a brew pub and not having exactly all the same conditions, you get some variety in the beer. First iteration we had, it was dead of winter, and the back of the room was quite cold. The mash temp was in its just right at 150, and we got a nice high gravity to the beer. It was about 7.2 when it came out, all said and done. Second time we brewed it was in the middle of summer, and actually the brewery was well into the 90s. We don't have air conditioning out there.
Okay.
But
the mash tun tap was a little bit higher at that point. So
yeah, it was. The mash was 155, 156, and it was neat to see. In the end, everything pretty much held constant. Alcohol level was a little lower in the body. It actually was quite a bit nicer, a little bit higher on the Drunken Horseman. And it's still. It has. You can definitely taste the differences.
Gotcha.
So, kind of fun to change one variable at a time and.
Gotcha.
You
still have some of the original batch too, the winter batch too, or
no, that's long.
I was gonna say, you said you can taste the differences just in your mind, what you remember one and the other.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Yep.
What are some of the other things you're brewing? Obviously, we talked about Turbo Body Wag and the Drunken Horseman. What are some of the other styles you're brewing?
Yeah, so we've got I brew what I kind of like to drink, as I guess we all do. So we try to stay away from the really heavy hoppy IPAs. We do have an IPA that we are called the Slack Sheet that is very popular. That is, we're going through a second iteration of that as well, dry hopped with Citra. We have that. We have we have something called the Sarcastic Charlie, which is more of an amber. That's actually surprisingly quite popular with everyone. We found that a lot of actually women really enjoy the beer. Just it's not terribly hoppy, good malty flavor to it, and it was named after the supervisor on the job, Charlie. He had a sarcastic nature to him, which came out nice. We've got a porter that we just put in the kegs, and we're holding that till September. We also have a red lager that we brewed.
Lager.
Yeah, started 1st of June, and should have it sometime late September.
See, I had an IPA.
A long lager.
I had an IPA there that probably my favorite IPA while I had there, Tipsy Mouse.
Yes.
That was very good. I love the balance of it.
Yeah. It's got a nice flavor to it. It's another one that we've worked on a little bit. We'll continue to evolve it. It's currently on the taps now. Slack sheet is unfortunately gone until we get it back up.
Gotcha.
But Tipsy Mouse is there. That's kind of a fun story because, like anything else, coming up with the names of the beers and the name of the beer that hasn't been used somewhere. But Tipsy Mouse comes from an old fable about a mouse that fell into a glass of beer and couldn't get himself out. And cat came walking by. The mouse pleaded with the cat to help him out, and the cat agreed to, provided he would give him a favor someday. And that someday came, and the cat came knocking. He says, "I'm hungry. I want to eat you." He says, "You owe me a favor." And the mouse is like, "Sorry, I was drunk at the time."
But a bump.
Now, speaking of names,
I'll be here all week.
I know what West Passage is, so why don't you explain to people what West Passage is in Rhode Island, where the name comes from?
Yeah, so
you can use my shirt here as a guide if you'd like to.
Right by the handle. West Passage is Narragansett Bay, which is the bay that runs right down the middle of the state.
This right here.
The state is known for. It has two sides to it. The East Passage side, which is runs on one side of Jamestown, which is one of the bigger islands in Rhode Island. There's 30 some odd islands in Rhode Island, by the way.
Yet Rhode Island itself is not an island.
Right.
And the West Passage is the westernmost side, which is our side. And it's it's the side that we have a boat on and that we will sail out to get out to sea. So that is
nice.
The West Passage.
There you go.
It goes right past Beaver Tail.
Exactly.
Excuse me?
Yes. Isn't that redundant?
I was going to say. Well, no.
Yeah.
All right. In any event. Great. What are some of the you got any seasonals coming up?
I'm sorry, say again?
I says, do you have any seasonals coming up? You're doing anything for beer season, as they call it? What's that?
We'll be calling our porter. Our porter is going to be our seasonal beer.
Gotcha.
We haven't explored yet into any seasonals, as it were, yet. We're still exploring ourselves, if you will.
I gotcha.
So with 2 months in, we're still trying to figure out exactly the offerings that we're going to have.
Of course. How many you try to keep on at any given time?
We've successfully kept 5 on at all times. We've had as high as 6. No, I've had 7 up. But right now we have 5, and very shortly I'll have a 6th up.
Very nice. How big a brew house you have?
We're a 5-barrel brew system.
Okay.
So we're 5-barrel. We have 4 fermenters. So the plan was to try to shoot for 8. And we're brewing right now about once to twice a week, and just trying to keep up with the demand in the tap room. We're actually could probably have more beer, but getting a hold of kegs right now has been problematic. So supply chain, et cetera, et cetera.
I can imagine.
So we have enough kegs to keep us going, but I think we'll be at 6, 7 varieties. We had decided, or I had thought, I'd gone back and forth on what size brew house to have, and our ceiling height is a little limited. We were a little over 9 foot, which did limit us how big a brew house. We couldn't have gone something like 10, but we were entertaining a 7. And in the end, we thought that by going with 5, we'd be able to turn over more varieties quicker and have more varieties on tap.
Absolutely.
Than if we had gone, 10-barrel or even a 7-barrel system.
Gotcha. Are you canning anything for people to take away, or are you just doing crowlers or growlers, or?
We will be doing that shortly. We've finally gotten to the point where we feel we've got a good feel for how much the tap room is needing in terms of how many pours we're doing a given week, And I think we're finally at the point now where we can start offering growlers or crowlers. We're still trying to decide which direction we want to go with that.
Sure.
Like the idea of cans. Cans do a lot better on boats.
This is true. This is very true. Always got to be thinking. Always got to be one step ahead. There you go.
Yeah.
So what's it called? So what?
How's the sound? And you guys aside.
Say it again.
I was asking how the sound is.
The sound. I mean, it's still a little garbly, but it's the best it's been. So
yeah.
we're working with it. So. And any, I definitely got to get up there because between what Dave said about the food, even though he didn't have any, just from the looks of it, and from what you're talking about as far as you're smoking a lot of your own meats, that's right up both mine and Dave's alley right there. So I definitely got to take a ride up.
And they're not too far from Wickford.
Yeah.
Wickford,
which is a cute little boating community there.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, you got to get through there.
I love the fact that you can pretty much get anywhere in Rhode Island in 20 minutes, unless there's traffic. then it's 3 hours.
You can see the water from the restaurant. So.
That's even better. Beautiful.
All you need is one crash on the turns.
I forget about it.
And Scott knows what the turns are. You get one crash on the turns, and you can't get anywhere in Rhode Island because all the side roads will fill up. Route 1 will back up if the turns are shut down.
There you go. All right.
But I do miss it up there. I gotta say that I do miss it up there.
Yeah, I've been up a bunch. I just haven't been. I mean, the last time I was actually up there and spent more than just driving through. It's been a couple of years now, so I got to get up there. You ready for a second beer, Samurai?
Yeah, Ben. I'm going with another treehouse.
Shocker.
I only picked up a couple of these. Yeah, you knew I was doing that. So we're going to go with, this is very hazy.
You got to get hazy.
It's like...
I think it's just hazy.
Well, is it green?
Green
and Julius? They like to...
They just add letters. The higher the alcohol, the more letters are in the name. That's pretty much it.
So this is pouring quite hazy because this is very hazy.
Well, I wouldn't expect it to be clear with a name like Very Hazy. So.
No. It's, got it in one of my...
I was going to say, your glass is melting.
That's a pretty pour, though.
That's a very pretty pour. That was very nice. I'd take a picture of that if I were you.
Nah. I don't need a compulsory. No, this would be a cursory picture in this case because it'd be
exactly.
Yes.
Cursory.
Well, we've been giving vocabulary lessons when every time you reboot.
Every time you reboot, we were going through vocabulary lessons. Yeah, so that was part of the thing. All right, I'm going to be drinking another Pittsburgh beer that I brought back. It's from Brew Gentleman. All right, in Braddock, Pennsylvania.
I like the Cthulhu on the... No, it's just an octopus, isn't it? It's not Cthulhu.
It's not Cthulhu, yeah. It's Akame. I think it's Akame, yeah. I always got to go opposite in this camera, so... Akame,
I don't know.
And it's one of those... It's a 12-ounce skinny can. It's the same can, if you remember, when you drank Good Ribes.
Yes, of course.
Same can. The carriers work because the top's the same, but the can is skinnier as well. That's the only difference in it. So I'll throw this.
So it's like a Red Bull can.
Pretty much. There we go. So.
Yep. Scott muted himself and started to talk.
I thought you were going to say Scott Muni. I don't know why.
Scott Muni.
This is Scott so here.
With a what was he did the Beatles thingy? Anyway, right. So Scott, you were starting to say.
I'm hard time hearing you guys.
Well, you'd muted yourself, and then it looked like you were talking. Were you talking to us?
Oh yeah, talking to my wife for a second.
Okay.
My business partner.
And there goes Mothra again.
Mothra just flew by again. There you go. Anyway, we got a comment. Let's see who this is. Douglas Smith. Hey guys, good show. Not beer related, but wanted to pass this on.
What are you passing on, Douglas?
How about it, Doug? Let us know. He didn't say it yet, so
he'll follow up.
Follow up, please. All right, so let's turn that off right there. Cool. And you're Scott. You're still working on your You're a turbo body wag?
I am.
You're on. All right. So, once again, cheers.
Cheers.
All right. There you go.
Get the rest of my beer in there.
Oh, that's nice. That's very tasty. I'm like that. It's the only brew gentleman I didn't have out there. Had about 5 or 6 of them while I was out there, but they had this canned, so I bought a 4-pack of this at the brewery. Oddly enough, their tap room when I was out there wasn't open yet. This is last month, middle of July. Their tap room still during the pandemic in Braddock, Pennsylvania, was not open yet, but they did have a pop-up in the Allegheny Overlook in Pittsburgh, right along the Three Rivers Heritage Trail. Right across the river.
Overlook. You said
Allegheny Overlook.
I heard Overpass. I'm like, that's a weird place to have a pop-up.
Yeah, really. Right across the river, just right next to the Roberto Clemente Bridge, right across the river from PNC Park. And went there and had a bunch of their beers, and they were pretty tasty. And it was a beautiful setting too. So you're sitting there. They have big Adirondack chairs, higher ones. You ever sit in the bigger, higher Adirondack chairs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love those. Sitting there, right, looking out on the Allegheny River, and
Bruce Willis on a boat going down it.
Yep.
Name the movie. No, never mind.
But so it was nice. It was nice sitting there in that park. A couple food trucks. It was really good. But the brewery wasn't open yet. But I brought the 4-pack, and this is actually the first one that I've had of it. So
I would say this is
cheers to you guys at Brew Gentlemen. Very nice.
This is a little beer related, and I think we need to put up what Doug has put on because this is important. They're two of my favorite things.
All right. He said not beer related, but wanted to pass this on. Here we go. Donkey opening new place in Mount Holly. Cheesesteaks and New Jersey beer. Win-win.
And we know a couple of breweries in Mount Holly.
We do know a couple of breweries in Mount Holly.
So we may now. Granted, I don't know if they'll be any good as good as Tilly's. And we've mentioned this before, where Philly and New Jersey really think they've got great cheesesteaks, and they do. Mm-hmm. But Rhode Island has got this Tilly's, and man, Tilly's makes a damn good cheesesteak.
Oh sure, I mean you can make a really good cheesesteak. I mean it's not like pizza, right? We talk about pizza in different states, and it's not even the singling out Rhode Island. It's anywhere really outside.
Well, you can single out Rhode Island. I couldn't find it.
No, I mean go have a piece of pizza in Nebraska. All right, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But my point being, it's the water, right? It's got to be the water because you can have the same ingredients. You can have every single one of the same ingredients. The only things that can be different is the water. And if you notice, a lot of places, like especially ones in Florida or whatever, they'll actually use spring water or they'll bring in water from New Jersey or New York, and the pizza tastes more like it does in New Jersey and New York at that point. So clearly it's got to be the water at that point. But in any event, we definitely have to get down to Mount Holly for that. Cheesesteaks and New Jersey beer is definitely a win-win. Doug, what's some more information? When are they opening up? Is it already open, or is it coming soon? Or let us know. If you can message right now, that'd be great. We'll put it out now. If not, by all means, we'll let us know afterwards, and we'll put it up on the site and on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Now we've got a kitty cat.
That is a kitty cat.
There is a cat.
Is it Zach's buddy, or are they friends?
They hate each other.
They hate each other. There you go. As all good cats and dogs should.
As nature intended.
The funny thing is, the dog tries to bite the cat in the head to get him to get really pissed. The dog bites the cat and he grabs a hold of his back with his claws. So,
there you go. So, all fun. Here we go.
There he is.
Doug said it's open in September. Okay, so we got a September date. People, Donkey's opening a new place in Mount Holly. Cheesesteaks and New Jersey beer. It is a win-win. It's going to be open in September. Keep an eye out for it. We'll keep an eye out for it as well, and we'll actually share that on our social media. Why not?
That cat has got some eyes.
I hope so.
Well, yeah, no, big green eyes on that cat.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Hey, should we do our top threes?
Well, you've missed one question.
I missed one question.
That you always ask. What is on the horizon for West Passage?
I did. You know what? I started that right before he switched.
Yes, so right.
My bad. We didn't come back to it.
We got to come back to that.
What's on the horizon? What's coming up plan-wise? And you might not have much, but in your mind right now, what's on the horizon?
Beer-wise, food-wise, expansion-wise, whatever.
Next month, next year. What's on the horizon?
So sure. Short term, we've got we're opening up a game room. Going to hit darts. I miss playing good darts.
Nice.
So we're putting a dart room in.
Nothing better than beer and weaponry. Yep.
Beer and fine weaponry.
Actually, yeah. So more about the board that we're going to use behind the dartboard. But
have you told your insurance company yet that you're doing this?
yeah. I know.
It's still safer than just in any old dive bar, you know. So
expand some of our seating. We're going to the changing up the menu for the fall. The food menu is a big thing. We actually do a lot of food. Our chef, who's from Johnson, Wales, is phenomenal.
Nice.
Of course.
So especially when we have the smoker, we got some pulled pork coming, which is tasty.
Nice.
The food actually, surprisingly, is very, very good, and it's one of the things that's drawing people in. So it's kind of a nice combination.
Look fantastic.
Get involved with some festivals in the area, especially as we get into the fall. There's a couple that are going to go on that we've agreed to do. So we'll start getting ourselves out there more and more. At some point, it'd be nice to expand a little bit. We're trying not to too much. We kind of like the way we are.
Sure.
And enjoying it. So, and continuing to brew good beer. So,
and great.
So not doing a pumpkin ale, huh?
Not going to do a pumpkin ale.
Thank you.
All right. Well, look at it this way. There are plenty out there.
And they're out right now.
They're out. They've been out for a month, Dave. They've been out for a month. I will tell you, and I told you already. Dave. What's say again?
No, we missed that, Scott.
We missed that, Scott. What'd you say?
I watched it. I didn't.
Oh no, it's not. I was just going to say, as far as that, Dave. What's my one of my favorite breweries in Massachusetts? Obviously, you mentioned it before. Is Night Shift.
Night Shift.
It was just up there a week and a half ago. They actually released a pumpkin ale. I talked about it last week. Pumpkin pie scraper. I should say it right. Pumpkin pie scraper. It actually is going to notch up on my list because, it was definitely my first pumpkin beer of the season. I wasn't planning on drinking one. I never do until September, but we were up there when in Rome, right? And they just released it that week, so had to have one. And it was definitely very well brewed, as is most of the stuff that Night Shift brews. But in any event, that's that. So good to hear that you're doing that and changing up the menu too. I definitely, like I said, want to get up there at some point in the fall. I'm just going to mute this really quick so while I'm talking. At some point in the fall, definitely plan on getting up there. Maybe Samurai will be up there at the same time. Maybe he'll be up there before or after, and
I can tour you around, and
you can tour me around, and there you go. Absolutely, sounds like a plan. All right.
I wish I was up there right now because I think the lotus pond is probably blooming.
There you go. Well, you would know. You would know. So, anyway, all right. So, should we do our top threes?
Yes, let's do the top threes.
Let's do the top threes.
Scott claims that he's going to have three here that no one's heard of. So tell us the category, Johnny.
All right, so the category tonight is top three favorite New York breweries. Once again, and I'll say this not for anybody listening because we've done this before, but I'll say this for Scott. We do top threes. Why do we do top threes? For two reasons. One, top tens would take too long because we each do our own top three.
And we always go over three anyway.
And we always go over three anyway.
So we probably, if we did top tens, it'd be like 25 each
probably. So in any event, so we're whatchamacallit. So we also do top threes. We pick three because 1933, the repeal of Prohibition. So there we go. We pay homage to that. So top three list. So tonight is top three favorite New York breweries.
Yep.
So actually, this was guided by Scott. So Scott, why don't you start us off and give us your top three?
All right. So I had to base those on experience. So it's partly where it's kind of pushed me into opening a brew pub.
Sure.
So the first one and two are Prison City Brewery in Auburn, New York.
What is it again?
Second one is the next chapter, also in Auburn.
I didn't hear either of those. I'm sorry.
You're
breaking up. You cut out. What was the first one?
Prison City.
Prison City?
Prison City Brewing.
Prison City Brewing.
All right.
Prison, like behind bars, Prison City. Next Chapter Brewing.
Next chapter. Both are in Auburn. This is a small town where I grew up, and they were able to have, they actually have 3 breweries right in downtown. And it kind of inspired me that if a small town like Auburn can have 3 breweries, North Kingstown can have 1. So,
there you go.
And then the last one is Greenport Harbor, which is on the end of Long Island.
Okay.
Which is basically a sailing destination for me.
Yeah. You get down there with the boat from Rhode Island. You take it down there and.
Yep. So that's my 3 in New York.
Yeah, that's the tip of North Fork.
Yep.
Greenport Harbor.
Okay, you can sail in. We stay at Greenport and walk over to the brewery.
There you go.
All 3 of these are inspirations.
It's a beautiful thing. There you go.
Very nice.
All right, Samurai, why don't you go next?
I kind of structured mine in 3 categories rather than doing a 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So we'll first start off with the one that I think puts out for me my favorite liquid out of this brewery, and this is first I've got with apologies to Suarez Brothers because they're putting out some great stuff, but I like Hudson Valley breweries. The sours they're putting out of there, fantastic sours. Love them. Love the town of Beacon. Beacon,
sure.
It's a great town. They've got a modern art museum down by the water, which would be the Hudson in this case.
Exactly.
And they've got some really great eating establishments. They've actually got a tea room and restaurant that is probably one of the few, if not only, Doctor Who themed restaurants in the country. So yeah, it's really kind of cool. So that's one, Hudson Valley. The next one would be one of the breweries I've had the best time at, and it's funny because it's going back and forth with Brian, our producer, and Gene, who erstwhile commenter. On the 7th anniversary of this brewery was 2 years ago, and we were there for their anniversary party because their anniversary is right around this time. I couldn't get an exact date. Their 5-year anniversary.
It's this month.
Yeah, it's this month. Their 5-year anniversary, the party they threw was a blast. They had a fantastic band. It looked like a thrash metal because of the makeup that they had on. It turned out to be kind of like a metal dance band, and they were actually quite a lot of fun. So much fun there. And we're talking that when they throw their 10th anniversary party, we need to all be there for that one. That would be Rushing Duck. Mm-hmm. Rushing Duck is in Chester, New York, and sure. Chester, New York, just north of Warwick. Then it's Warwick, New York, not Warwick, New York, because it's Warwick. It's Warwick, Rhode Island.
Warwick, yeah.
So, but
it's Warwick in New York. It's
Warwick.
Yeah.
And you got to really overpronounce it, Warwick.
Like 2 separate words, war and wick.
Yes, and not a war on Wickford. But it's they have. That area is becoming like a hotbed for breweries. There's about 6 or 7 in the area now,
sure.
and a bunch of wineries too. So, recommend getting up there. But the one I'm going to put as probably my favorite brewery in all of New York State, because John and I we agreed, and Scott followed along, not to do New York City because there's just too many there, especially when you talk about Brooklyn. But this one's more sentimental because. Scott talked about how the first craft beer that got him into it was Sam Adams. And then after Sam Adams, Pete's Wicked came out. There was Dixie Voodoo Blackened. And it looked like the craft beer movement was really going to take off. And you're going to get all this great stuff in. Peter Sellis had come over to the U.S. and he was producing some stuff.
Sure.
And then it kind of stalled for a little bit.
Yep.
It stayed static for a little bit. And I actually got into wine. And I don't regret that because I love my wine. And then my friends and I we used to hike up in the Adirondacks quite often.
Hike to the Adirondacks, or just
hike up there.
So you
not hike up there. We were in there and we'd hike while we were up there.
Right. Just make sure you didn't walk from New Jersey all the way up to the Adirondacks.
That'd be a heck of a hike. But we go up there.
Back now.
We climbed the high peaks, and one time we were up there. We pulled into Lake Placid, and there was a Ironman marathon parade going through town. We were not in the Ironman competition nor the parade. So we wound up going to was it Pete's Steakhouse, I think it's called, and ordered a beer. And they poured, and I saw this strong brown ale on the menu.
Sure.
Turned out to be Lake Placid's Ubu. And for those of you who are familiar with that name, Ubu, it is actually the same dog that is in the production company where you would hear "Sit, Ubu, sit."
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of 80s sitcoms that came out of that production company. I think Family Ties was one of them. And
was that James Burrows was a big was one of the producers. His company. Yeah.
Well, it
was Taxi. It was Family Ties. It was all of them. Yeah.
And it may have been Burrows that was from Lake Placid. One of them was from Lake Placid. So and the Ubu was this famous black lab from up there.
Yep.
And so the beer is named after him, and is it one of the world-class craft beers out there? No, but it's very near and dear to my heart because it got me, well, one, drunk, and two,
it did its job.
Oh, yeah.
It served its purpose.
And got me right back into the craft beer world. I will still enjoy my wine from time to time, but as everyone who knows me, full on into the craft beer, and it was Lake Placid Brew Pub, and every time we go up there, we'd hike. We would, at the end of the hike, we go to the brew pub. There's no elevator, and the brew pub itself is on the 3rd floor. So we would very painfully and slowly make our way up.
Of course.
To the restaurant's on the ground level. There's 3 levels, and we get up to the top where the tap room was, and we'd eat our. As I told John, they make this thing called firecracker fish and chips. They take the fish after it's fried, and they dip it in buffalo sauce.
So it's buffalo fish and chips, basically.
Well, they call it firecracker fish and chips. What they call it, and just wash it down with ubu after ubu after boo boo until the pain in our legs don't matter.
Ubu after ubu after boo boo. You just said so. Basically,
that's how you're saying it after. That's how you order it after you've had like 2 or 3 of them.
you get an order of boo boo. Yeah, exactly. So awesome. So there you go. There you go. All right, I'll jump in and do mine. On the brown ale note. Okay, but there's a lot of other beers. I'm going to start, and there's no particular order to these. I'm not giving the 3, 2, 1. I'm just giving them to you in this order. Nothing's a 1, nothing's a 2, nothing's a 3. These are my top 3 in New York, upstate New York. Again, we're not doing New York City. That's going to be another show. It's going to be, there's so many in New York City. We have to make that a separate animal.
Yeah. We can make Brooklyn a separate animal.
We can make the 5 boroughs, each borough its own animal. So in any event,
no, Manhattan's got 1 brewery. That would be
well,
easy.
2.
No, the other one hasn't reopened.
Yeah, that's true. So we could do a top 2 with that. And the one that didn't reopen would be number 2, right?
Yes,
exactly. So, in any event, all right. So like I said, not in any particular order, but I'll start off because you said the brown ale before. Good Nature. I'm wearing the hat right here. Good Nature is in Hamilton, New York. It's Good Nature Farm Brewery in Hamilton, New York. They're brewing some really, really good stuff. I've been up to Tap New York a bunch of times. I have not actually. I've been by the brewery. I have not been in the brewery the one time I went by, but I've had so much of their stuff every year at Tap New York. The beer they're putting out is just so really, really spot on. And one of their beers that is one of my favorite that they do. And you know how I am with brown ales. You know me with my brown ales. Brown ales and Schwartz beers and alt beers are at the top of my list. So, but the maltier the better. But brown ales, their brown ale they do. They have an American brown ale is what they call it, and it's just so spot on. It's so
brown.
It's not overly hopped. It's hopped enough to give it a little bit of a bite, but there's still that really nice malt character. It's really tasty. And I've had a couple of sours. They've done a couple, and they didn't call it this, but they've done a couple of Bruins. Uda Bruins. Uda Bruin. And it's and they're really tasty as well.
Hi, Zach.
But in any event, so Good Nature Farm Brewery in Hamilton, New York. That's one of them. Another one. Paradox Brewing. Paradox up in North Hudson, New York. It's right on Scroon Lake.
That's by the Adirondacks.
Beautiful area. The brewery's really gorgeous. They're in the second space, actually. Well, technically they're third, but their second space, we'll call it. And it's a much bigger facility that they have now. But the original facility was really, really quaint. It was really nice. But the liquid they're putting out is really tasty.
I was at their first tap room.
In the smaller one, right on Scroon Lake.
Right on, forget what road that is, just off the Northway.
Just off Route 9.
Route 9, that's right, Route 9.
Yeah. And so they're up in North. It's North Hudson is the name of the town, but it's right on Scroon Lake.
And if anybody's ever been on their website, John did their first website.
Their first website. They're on their fifth website right now. I did the first website like 10 years ago. The one they had for the first year or so. I know the owner, and I put
it's probably the website that was up while I was in the tap room.
Pretty much, probably, yeah. So the name of that. So Paradox Brewery in North Hudson, New York, and of course, have to mention Equilibrium Brewery, Equilibrium in Middletown, New York. The beer that they're putting out, folks, if you're just listening to the audio podcast, Zach and Scott are having a really great time.
They just made out on the love seat.
Well, I'm spewing on about New York breweries.
Zach is his German Shepherd, by the way.
Yes, Zach is his German Shepherd, yes. And there he's back again.
We're talking a dog, not a guy that takes care of sheep in Westphalia.
Not a German sheep herder, right? Exactly. In any event, so Equilibrium Brewery in Middletown, New York. They're they're making great IPAs. They're making great some of their saisons, some of their barrel-aged saisons that they do. Yeah, they're so good. I actually have one downstairs.
I've never had one of their saisons.
Good.
I've had some of their sours.
Really good. Their sours are good. They're really, really tasty beer they're putting out. So those are my three: Good Nature Farm Brewery, Paradox Brewery, and Equilibrium Brewery. There you go.
I'm gonna get this damn bug.
Eventually, you will. You keep missing it, but eventually you will. All right, Gene actually commented in a couple minutes ago. He said, "Sit, Ubu, sit."
There it is.
Gene, the dog's name is Zach.
I don't think he's going to listen to you. Well, Mason doesn't listen to you either.
Mason doesn't listen to you either. Mason listens to Lauren. Mason does not listen to Gene. So. Oreo listens to Gene, but that's only because Gene gives Oreo some, shares his beer with.
And the catnip.
And the catnip. Well, the cat shares the catnip with Gene. So.
That's
exactly. So, anyway, great. So those are good list. Good list tonight. I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we did that one. That was good. Good job.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
I did want to bring one thing up.
Hey, that sounds like a great marketing program right there. I love New York.
I love New York.
I think you got something.
How about I Heart New York?
Oh, there you go. I think we're onto something.
All right, we'll work on that.
Probably one of the best state promotional campaigns ever.
Well, you got I Heart New York, and you got Virginia is for Lovers, right? You got those.
The second one, and then of course New Jersey had, and we put it out when we had a governor who had the worst New Jersey accent. Mm-hmm. New Jersey and you, perfect together. It's like, oh, please stop.
Tom Kane.
Yeah, that was Tom Kane. The only Jersey governor that had what people think is the Jersey accent, and that Jersey accent really only exists in one county.
Yeah, exactly. You want to hear a Jersey accent? Listen to me and Dave.
Yeah, that's
your Jersey accent.
Now, and if you want to know someone's from Jersey, just ask them to say water. Because it's W-E-R, water, W-E-R-T-E-R, water.
And it's not Newark.
Newark.
It's Nork. N-O-R-K, Nork. Exactly. Anyway, whatchamacallit? I do want to bring this up. We mentioned sports before. We were talking to Scott beforehand about some stuff. College football's coming up too, just like everything else. And I did read this today, just in time. And this was the official headline on Brewbound, and it was written. I think it was a shared story. Anyway, it says just in time for Saturday's college football kickoff. Deschutes Brewery has signed a multi-year deal to become the official beer of the Pac-12 conference.
Really?
Yep. So apparently Deschutes is the official beer of the Pac-12 conference. So.
Whereas most of the kids playing the game can't drink.
No, most of the kids playing the game drink Natty Light. But
on the slide that their older brother got for him and snuck into the
it depends.
fraternity.
I mean, So I mean, there could be a 24-year-old freshman too. I mean, we don't know this. This is
football.
So, in any event, Deschutes. Cheers to Deschutes for pulling that off. You're the official brewery, official beer of the. I'm sorry, it's the official craft beer of the Pac-12 conference. So
official craft beer.
Craft beer. So apparently there can be another macro beer official of the Pac-12 conference, which I believe is Natty Light. So, but
could be Natty Bo. Natty Bo's from the East Coast.
Could be. Can't be Natty Ice anymore. Remember, 2 weeks ago we went over this. 3 weeks ago, they got rid of it. That's one of the breweries that they did disband with, or one of the brands, I should say. But anyway, so I just want to bring that up. All right. On that note, let's just really quick. I just want to ask Scott.
Oh no.
No, I just want to ask Zach. What we mentioned any long range goals you have for the brewery, or is it just all still too new and you're still just getting your feet wet with it?
It's a lot of being new, trying to figure out where we're going to go next. I mean, I set out from the get-go, to define what was success.
Right.
And for us, it was keeping the doors open and enjoying going to work every day.
Exactly.
So far, so good. And that's the plan.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like a plan, and we will definitely get up there soon. And I hope Henri didn't do too much damage, other than a little bit of the food you lost in the tree you had to cut down in your backyard. I hope that was about the extent of it for you.
We're doing all right.
All right, that's good. So, Dave, it sounds like you got the worst.
Yeah, probably.
You had no tree you had to cut down, but your water situation.
I live in Kearney. I don't think Kearney has any trees.
There's a couple trees. West Hudson Park. There's some trees.
Oh yeah, there's about 7 in there.
Yeah. So there you go. And a ball field. I played on that. I played on a baseball field a couple times. So anyway, all right, Scott, don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap up the show. Sit tight. We're going to talk to you after the show. We'll just wrap it up for today. At this point, we want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lageroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night at 6:30. Thank you. And for those of you that just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Scott, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Thank you, Scott.
Really appreciate it. We'll definitely be up soon to see you and have a couple of beers with you, and definitely some food too, sure.
Yeah, I need one of those burgers. I saw those burgers going by. I was like, oh, why did we eat before we came here?
Yeah, I'm coming hungry. Let's put it that way.
Well, the thing was, I didn't know that they were open yet because I knew Jillian's. I had passed by it. The whole time I was up there, Jillian's was empty.
Sure.
Yep.
And we're going to Wickford, and I mean, I nearly ran into the car in front of me because my head snapped around when I saw there was a brewery open there. And there had been rumors that a brewery was going into that space. The RI craft beer community had yapped about it for a little bit, but it was kind of like 10:30, and we're not drinking at 10:30. We do drink at 10:30 in the morning, but there's no brewery opening at 10:30 in the morning. So
you and I were just drinking at 11 in the morning of Friday, a week and a half ago.
Well, yeah, that's because the place opened at 11.
That's true.
So we went to Wickford, killed enough time there because we quickly looked up when you opened, and killed enough time there that we were in shortly after you opened up. So it was good to see that space being utilized.
Definitely getting up there.
It's a great location.
Yeah, definitely getting up there. That's for sure. So plan on seeing us. We'll keep you informed. We'll let you know when we're coming up. We'll do a little Instagram live or Facebook live kind of thing when we come up there too.
Sounds good, John. Thank you.
Absolutely, it'll be fun. Anyway, thank you again for coming on. Appreciate it. Folks, have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly, and we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Yeah, sit, Gene, sit.
Cheers.